Hi everyone, and welcome back to G&H Honey Bees. It is the Friday, the 24th of July, 2026, and up here at the bee yard in the bush, have a look and see how they're progressing. I just noticed on my fence here teeth marks. There's only one critter around here that will do that. They are flying pretty good. That one's flying good. They're all flying good. Yeah, there's good activity from all of them by the looks of it. Especially this one. This one too. So it's up here, it's about 17 or 18 degrees Celsius, but down at Souk, where I live, it was 24 when I left, and 2 days ago it was 34, and yesterday afternoon we had a lightning and thunderstorm and some heavy rain, but we've had fairly decent weather overall for the last week. I was up here last Saturday and they're just getting started because the week before that it was kind of overcast, but it looks like they're flying good today. Up here it seems to be overcast. It's not quite as bright and hot as it was. So anyway, I got to get the fence opened up, get the fencer turned off, and then we're going to get into these boxes and have a look, see what we got. Back in a bit. Alright, so here we are in the first colony, and these two little boxes, these single hives, they were just getting started. They had freshly mated queens. They were just starting to build brood, and last week when I looked at them, they didn't need a second box just yet, or at that time, so we'll see what they look like. Well, they are getting there. There's bee bread in that. There's honey in that one. And there's more honey in that one. They still don't look like they need a second box. That one's full of honey. Well, in here it's full of honey. There's brood, and there's fresh grubs in the bottoms of those open cells. There's some brood, and those are all laid up. These cells around here are all laid up. Fresh eggs in there. Geez, I would have thought they would have had a couple of good hatches by now. Maybe they don't need another box just yet. There's some older brood, days away from hatching. Another good frame of brood. That's all brood and that's all laid up. Just want to have a quick peek at the, see if I can see the queen. That's all freshly laid with eggs. It's interesting. That's another good frame or brood. Same on that side. I still haven't seen her. And I did get her marked, so she could have her butt in a cell laying an egg someplace and not be noticeable. Is she on this? Well, that's all food and bee bread. Oh, that's not good. Am I seeing things? Kind of swore I saw. No, that's just a single egg. Thought I saw duplicate eggs in the same cell. Alright, well, I know she's making brood and stuff. I should just throw a... They're not really ready for another box, so I'm just going to leave them. Okay, so get them covered up. So I'm going to have a look in the next one, and then I'll bring you back. So here's the next box, the little one. Look at that queen. She looks nice. She just laid an egg in that outside cell. She's got this frame completely laid up, so I'm going to slip her back in there. That's all full of brood and fresh grubs and stuff. There's a good frame of brood. Those open cells have got grubs in them, some have got eggs. So I think that's all I'm going to look at in this one. And I'm going to throw a second box on here. So I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so this is the next colony. And this one was going into swarm mode before I brought them up here. Last week I knocked a bunch of queen cells out of this second brood chamber. So I'm going to have to do a tilt test on these guys and see if they're still doing that. Because I knocked all them queen cells off. There's a little bit of honey there. That's about it. They still haven't built up enough to build a lot of honey, so, which I kind of expected. Well, it's got a bit of weight to it. Maybe they will make some honey. But I'm not going to pull these frames, or should I? Pull a couple. Well, that's empty on that side. It's got older honey on the outside. I see they're making, oh, I should get you up here where you can see what's going on. Putting fresh wax in here where it scraped out some bad looking comb. Well, that's full of fresh honey. And so is that side. See how far their honey stores go. See if I can find a frame of brood. Yeah, look at that. Queen cell. And it's populated. Still doing their swarm thing. Pull that out of there. The drone cell. And no mites. That's full of honey, so there's no brood there. Quite a few drone cells on the bottom of that one. And there's another queen cell there. It's not populated, but I'm going to get rid of it. That's full of honey. That's full of honey. You can see that in there. So there's just enough population for them to fill the upper brood chamber with frames of winter food. That's full of honey. So is that. I wish that was capped. Then I'd take it out of there and just put empty brood frames in. And store that away for them. That's all honey. So there's no brood in this upper box at all. So let's pull that off. Kind of weighty. That's full of honey, both sides. Really want to see some brood though. No queen cells on that frame. Wish the wind would just leave my veil out so I could. No, I don't see any eggs in there. There's some brood on this side. There's no eggs in there yet. There's more brood. there's all kinds of fresh grubs in there. A couple of practice cups on the bottom there. This one's populated. I don't know if the camera can see that or not. That one right there is populated. The one next to it isn't. That one isn't, but I'm knocking them off of there anyway. Ow, 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 from under my fingers, girls. Ow. So I'm going to go through this box and get rid of the queen cells and stuff. If I find a queen, I'll bring you back and show her to you. That didn't take long. She was on the very next frame. She is with a blue dot, so she's last year's queen. One of the few surviving queens from last year. Just running around laying eggs. She hasn't gotten skinny, so... Because look at her, she's huge. So now I know where she is. I'm just going to tilt this box up, check the bottoms for queen cells, and then we can move on to the next box. Alright, so I got the swarmium back together, went through this one. They're progressing, not making any honey. So I just cracked this one open and notice that there's a lot of bees in the top of this one. They're cleaning up that comb. I'll put that aside for a second. Oh, this is a 9. Little bits of honey. This one's got a little bit of weight to it. Yeah, they're putting nectar in here. Getting some nectar in there. I guess you can't see what I'm doing here. So they are starting. Come on out of there. Yeah, they're starting to make honey. It seems to be this side of the box, like the left-hand side of the box. It's probably where it's the warmest. But even on the last frame, we got bees working on the comb. So I'm going to pull that honey super off. And we'll just have a quick look at the box. Or should we? No, I think I'm just going to leave this one. Oh, what the hell. I'm going to lift the honey super off. I'm going to check the frames in the upper box. Back in a minute. So, got them back together. I've added a second honey super just because they're going to explode in population here in a few days just by the looks of the brood that I found. And they're doing really well. I did a box tilt on the second box. There was a couple of practice queen cells there, but no swarm cells or anything. So they look like they're pretty content. So let's have a look in this one. Because I can see bees in the... Yeah. Oh, they're drawing that out and putting honey in it. Good going, girls. getting this one all drawn out. And there's fresh nectar in there. Oh, that side's got quite a bit. You're not going to be able to see that with that camera. So let's have a look. Yes, girls, I know I'm disturbing you. And see, this nice fresh wax is kind of yellowish. That's fireweed wax. That's what color it is when they're building from fireweed. So, have a quick peek here. Oh, that frame was full end to end. We're going to get you around, get the camera around here. I don't know, can you see the glisten there? Wow, it's going to be a nice box of honey. Just check one more. Oh, this one's full too. You can see that. They're actually starting to cap off the top edge there. Oh yeah, making progress. Might actually get some honey this year after all. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did to that box. I'm going to take that honey super off, and I'm going to do a tilt look at the bottoms of those frames to make sure there's no swarm cells. And then I'm going to put them back together, and Bob's your uncle. I'll be back in a bit. Alright, so had a quick look at the top brood chamber, second brood chamber. There were some practice queen cells, or queen cups, no queen cells. They were kind of uppity when I lifted that second box, but oh well. And I've added a third honey super to the top just to give them more space, because it is overly populated in that box. But they're doing really well. They all seem to be doing really well. So it's time to get the electric fence turned on and head on down the road. Get my special gloves on. So there, all done up. So here's a pro tip for those of you who live in bear country, have electric fence, and use this kind of a gate or any kind of a gate. The reason that they're trying to bite these is I wear those orange rubber nitro gloves, and every once in a while I forget and I come out and I grab one of these with the glove on, and it's probably got the smell of honey and stuff on it. So they're coming up and trying to chew on them. When we were over at the other fireweed location a couple of years ago, I had one of these that was just totally chewed up. That's why you see I've got wire wrapped around there now. And so that gets a charge from the fence. So whoever had a little chew on that one got a bit of a lifter. So anyway, the fence is clicking away pretty good. Everything's nice and tidy. Yeah, I don't see any weeds. I'll have to bring the weed whacker next week maybe and get rid of some of them dandelions that seem to be persistent, because they could get up and ground out the wire. But for the time being, it is what it is. So anyway, hope you're all having a great day. There's our, I know the camera may not show all the fireweed, but it's nice out there. There's fireweed everywhere. Way over there as well, there's fireweed. That's a drop off just out past where that fireweed is, but that whole hillside is fireweed. And there's fireweed all around us here. You can't see, well, maybe you can, but you can see the pink up there. All that hillside is covered in fireweed. So we may get some honey this season after all, and anything is better than what we got last year, which was none, and that was all due to hot, dry weather. Anyway, hope you're all having a great day. Your bees are doing well, and everything's going okay for you. And I'm going to get in the car. I'm sweating like crazy, and I want to go home and have a nice cool shower and relax. So I'll talk to you again on another video probably next week. Bye for now.